While many survival horror games owe their existence to Resident Evil, few have managed to both follow in its footsteps and stand out in their own right. Enter Fear Effect, a forgotten gem of the late 90s that not only modeled itself after Capcom's iconic franchise but expanded on its formula in bold and inventive ways. Released as a duology on the original PlayStation, Fear Effect mixed cyberpunk aesthetics with East Asian mysticism, presenting a gripping narrative that combined action, horror, and emotional depth. Though the series has been plagued by cancellations and disappointing follow-ups, it remains one of the most memorable and ambitious survival horror duologies that many never had the chance to play. Fear Effect, blending Asian horror and cyberpunk action. The first Fear Effect game, released in 2000, transported players to a dystopian future set in the year 2050. A cyberpunk world dominated by black market dealings and technological advancements served as the backdrop for a simple, yet intriguing plot. Mercenaries Hanatsu Vachel, Deke, and Royce are hired to find Wei Ming, the daughter of a triad boss who has mysteriously disappeared in Hong Kong. What begins as a straightforward mission quickly descends into a dark world of spirits, monsters, and ancient gods, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. Like Resident Evil, Fear Effect featured the tank controls and exploration-based gameplay that defined the genre. However, it also introduced stealth mechanics, allowing players to sneak through enemy-filled environments and perform stealth kills to restore health. The addition of these mechanics gave the game a unique edge, distinguishing it from its contemporaries. But it was the game's mature themes and intricate storyline that truly set it apart. The fusion of cyberpunk and Eastern mysticism added layers to the narrative, making Fear Effect more than just a horror game, it was a deeply atmospheric experience. Fear Effect 2, Retro Helix takes the story to the next level. In 2001, Fear Effect 2, Retro Helix arrived as a prequel to the original game, improving on nearly every aspect of its predecessor. Set 2 years before the events of Fear Effect, the game delves into a world terrorized by a deadly disease called NDS, environmentally induced nucleotides degeneration syndrome, which slowly breaks down the DNA of its victims. Amid the fear and chaos, Hannah returns, joined by her protégé and love interest, Rain Chin. Alongside familiar faces Deke and Royce, the duo embarks on a mission that leads them deeper into the underworld of Hong Kong, where they must confront both human enemies and supernatural forces. Retro Helix refined the gameplay of the first game, maintaining the tank controls while introducing smoother combat mechanics and a more user-friendly inventory system. The game also retained its signature use of pre-rendered full-motion video, FMV backgrounds, giving environments a distinct, animated feel that was visually impressive for the time. The puzzles were more challenging, the stakes were higher, and the story was darker, making Retro Helix a superior entry in the series. A franchise with a troubled future. Despite the success of the first 2 games, the Fear Effect series has been haunted by cancellations and failed revivals. In 2002, a third game titled Fear Effect Inferno was teased at E3, with a trailer showing Hannah trapped in a hospital surrounded by demons. Fans eagerly anticipated its release, but in 2004, the game was cancelled without much explanation. Years of silence followed, and it wasn't until 2018 that Fear Effect returned, but not in the way fans hoped. The release of Fear Effect Sedna, developed by indie studio Susi, was meant to be a triumphant comeback for the series. Unfortunately, the game was a drastic departure from the survival horror roots of the first 2 titles, opting for an isometric perspective and simplified gameplay mechanics. Fans and critics alike were disappointed, with many citing poor voice acting, lackluster combat, and an unengaging story as major flaws. Sedna was a missed opportunity to bring Fear Effect back into the limelight, leaving fans once again yearning for the franchise's former glory. The fate of Fear Effect, a glimmer of hope. Though Sedna failed to revive the franchise, hope remains that Fear Effect could one day return to its roots. A remake of the original game, titled Fear Effect Reinvented, was announced, promising a modernized take on the series. However, in 2023, it too was cancelled, leaving fans disheartened. Yet, with classic games like Silent Hill making successful comebacks, there is still a possibility that Fear Effect could find new life in the current gaming landscape. As it stands, Fear Effect remains a cult classic, a hidden treasure of the survival horror genre that many have yet to discover. The series' unique blend of action, horror, and storytelling deserves recognition, and with a remaster of the original game coming to modern consoles, perhaps the Fear Effect flame will reignite once again. If successful, this could be the start of a new chapter for the series, and maybe even the long-awaited release of Fear Effect Inferno. Only time will tell. For now, Fear Effect remains a forgotten duology that stands as one of the best horror/action series you've never played.